Hey everybody, it's your host Dr. Dana Martin for the Sith podcast. Hello, it feels like it's been forever since we've been back. No, it's just been forever since we've seen a couple of these folks. Just kidding. How are you guys doing tonight, Cam, Debbie, and Zane? How are y'all doing?
Vibing.
Pretty good.
Vibing. Yeah, I sound real excited. I'm like excited you guys are here and y'all are like, cool. It's Tuesday and it's like a job now. No, seriously. Welcome back. We had a fantastic week last week. Cameron, sitting on the sideline but still participating. Debbie, you two, I really appreciate that. Zane was here and y'all did more participation. Bravo. Just kidding, not really. He admitted afterwards, he's like, dude, it was just cool to hang out with DJ Elliott. What a fantastic guest. For everyone that watched or hasn't, go back and watch it or listen on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever. Great interview. He's just full of stories and we barely scratched the surface. So we'll be able to get him on a little more. So let's catch up. Zane, we were about to start without you. I got to start with you. I literally texted him at 59 and was like, are you joining the show? His response was something like, oh crap, wait, yeah. So what's going on? What are you doing?
My friends just started a Minecraft server. We're doing a modded one called Cobblemon, which is it's like a Pokemon mod pack, but like updated to 1.20.
Minecraft. That's still a thing, huh? I guess.
I never the best week of his life, man. I'm telling you.
Is this one of those games that you just cram for like, a week or two and then it's like, I'm done.
When playing with friends, yeah.
Yeah, you and the homies drinks one night. They're like, dude, let's start up a Minecraft server, brother. Y'all do it. Grind it for a week. Don't touch it for 6 months. Start a new server, man. I mean, it's always going to be there.
Rinse and repeat.
Amen.
I have no idea what all that is. Debbie, let's get off this thing. How have you been? How are you last week? I saw you on a couple of the shows even, man. Busy.
Yeah, I'm here, there, everywhere.
I made
Just been busy. Work, our remodeling in the office is finally done. Thank God.
Do they make you come in more now?
Huh?
Will they make you come in more now?
I hope not. I already work 40 hours a week.
I thought you were like splitting like home in there. I misunderstood.
No, I do occasionally, but not very often. If I could do it all from home, I would. But I can't give shots over the internet, so.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that might be something in the future.
Oh my goodness.
Just roll out of bed and give a shot.
Sorry, Debbie.
All right.
So when you say give a shot, like vaccinations, inoculations, penicillins, what? Yes.
Just childhood vaccines or some traveling vaccines. Like we have a university in our town and they do a lot of missions. So before they go on mission, they have to come in and get their shots. Mostly typhoid, but TD or Tdap and Hep A, Hep B's, whatever.
You're just rattling them off like this is like you're a dealer or something, but those are good dealings. Yeah, man. Hey, man, check this out. Look what I got for you.
I got some Tdap for you under my coat.
First one's free. Oh my goodness. That's going to be the new street name for Tdap. All right. Who wants a little typhoid? No. Cam, how have you been this last week plus? Again, thank you for engaging on the show last week.
Hell yeah. I mean, been busy, saw Phantom Menace, watched Tales of the Empire, got in pretty much 95% of the most recent Lego Star Wars sets that I still need to put together. My sister graduated college, so did that this past weekend. Watched both of the Dune movies, which I will say Dune Part 2 is probably one of the best films I've seen in recent memory, probably 4 years. And I'm going to start Return of the King tonight, so pretty stoked to finally finish Lord of the Rings, the book, the novels. So
that tonight?
No, I'm gonna start it, but I'm going to rewatch the. I'm going to see the extended versions
Oh,
theaters next month. I'm going to see all three, in consecutive days. So I'm looking. I kind of want to finish the novels before I go see them in theaters.
awesome.
So
Well, speaking of theaters, we did talk a little bit about that last week, the Phantom Menace, and with you two back, I'm assuming Debbie, you went. I know you did. Cam, did you go, Debbie? Yes. So, how was it for you two? Debbie, go ahead. How was it revisiting that?
I enjoyed it. Oh, excuse me. I went with my youngest son, who's in his 30s, and of course, when it came out originally, he was very young. So this was like, the first time as an adult to see it in the movie theater. We both enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of nostalgia go around. We had to travel because they didn't show it in our little theater here. So we had to, I know it doesn't sound much, but I hate driving. We had to travel about a half hour to get to the theater. And, it wasn't too crowded. So, my anxiety wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was great just to see it on the big screen again. I loved it.
Yeah, that pod racing, man, that was well done. I thought it was fun. Cam, how was it for you, man?
well, it was my first time seeing the good films in theaters. So that was good.
Did you do the whole thingy, like the whole?
No, the closest one that was doing that was in Dallas, and I wasn't gonna. And he had, and he had to watch them all. You couldn't just buy selective, and I wasn't gonna drive 2 hours and have to pay all this money and then skip 3 of the movies. But it was good, man. It was. I think it's honestly aged better for me, and I think a lot of people too. So it was just cool to see Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon on the big screen. That was probably and a lot of others' favorite parts of the film, and it just felt good to watch something that felt like Star Wars. So
yeah, I think that's a great point. It felt like Star Wars.
I guess, like I say, all the thing, man. The people yearn for midichlorians, dude. Like, would it make like 15 million or something? Like,
it was the second whatever that weekend, the second in the box office to whatever.
Yeah, like that's
it even beat out Ryan Gosling
Fall Guy,
movie.
which is impressive.
He is impressive, but we're not here to talk about Ryan Gosling. So
we're here to talk about Jar Jar and how great Jar Jar is in the Phantom Menace.
Listen, I didn't do this last time because, well, I wanted to respect some rules we had for last show. But let me tell you this, okay? I still can't get over Jar. I can't. I tried, and I get it. Star Wars, we had Jawas, and then we had in Empire, we had what? Ugnaughts. I don't know. What was the cute thing in there? I don't even know. And then we had the Ewoks. I get it. You got to have the little thing. But, dude, he was so annoying. I could barely get through those scenes. And I'm patient. I've had kids. I mean, present company excluded, of course. I can be patient. But I also have a line. And when that threshold's crossed in about the third, Misa, I was done already. I couldn't. I'm just like... My poor wife was watching me happy, sad, happy. Are you kidding me? It was emotional. But I will say, Darth Maul, he's been slowly becoming my top 3 guy with Vader and Balin Skull. I might have to replace Darth Revan, at least move him down a little bit for a while, because I know, right?
Yeah.
Darth Maul, man. And that whole arc, he never had quote unquote redemption. I mean, to your point, right, Cam? There's no redemption. He knows whatever his fate is. and he willingly he's like, no, this is me, this is who I am, there is no other. And that, I believe, is the whole thing with Skywalker, is that wasn't who he really was. So redemption is only possible if deep down that individual still exists to be saved, right?
Well, I think too. I was telling Woods, my wife, this. One of the things that I also really liked too was Anakin's story arc and the introduction of young Anakin. I still probably would have preferred if we'd had Hayden Christensen in all three films, because I think it would have been cool to kind of see the transition from maybe 14, 15 Anakin to 20 plus, whatever. Anyways, but it kind of took me back as a kid, and it's like, this is just some slave kid on Tatooine that just got told he's special, and a Jedi has taken such interest in him. And the scene that really kind of hit me here was when he's leaving his mom, when he's going away with Qui-Gon, and he's like, Qui-Gon tells him, he gets super excited, and he's like, but what about her? And he's like, well, I couldn't negotiate for her, basically, or whatever, which Qui-Gon probably could have if he'd wanted to, but Jedi rules. And then he's like, I can't do it, Mom. And his mom's like, no, it's okay. Then he goes and packs up his stuff, and he does the 3PO scene. And then he's walking out. And then he takes a step back, and he's like, I can't do it. And she goes, no, you have to. And I'm like, that's good stuff, man. And I can understand why he made him as a kid, because for the kids at the time, it was, well, yeah, we would all, if we're 9 years, we'd all want to be a Jedi, you know?
Yeah.
And
Didn't we all want to be Luke?
Yeah, and I think it just, that's when I mean it aged better for me. And I mean the Clone Wars helps too, but just I think his story arc in Phantom Menace alone is awesome. And I think it makes the fall and Revenge of the Sith even worse, because you see those two from the guy from the kid from 2 movies ago to the man now. It's crazy to see kind of his hope and everything just corrupted by the dark side.
Quite. Yeah, and I think when you look at the way in which he looked up to the Jedi, so it was mystical, or these are people that exist elsewhere. We're on the outer rim, right? So yeah, to your point, he'd totally be like, oh my gosh, I've heard of these people. You think why wouldn't you lose your crap? And yeah, I'll go. I do have a question about Shmi and Qui-Gon. And there is some hearsay theory stuff out there. I don't know if y'all have heard this about Qui-Gon and Shmi. But that Qui-Gon was very much a student of the archives, whatever, of the Force and the past, and knew of these things, and that potentially he had some sort of tryst with or affair with Shmi. And that in Phantom Menace, I can't find these clips now, of course. I should have prepped for those now that we're talking about it. There's videos out there where they show just the back and forth. He's got his hands on her constantly, all these things I'd never even looked at or considered. So I'm sitting there in the theater and I'm looking at my wife. Hey, do you see this? I think he's got a thing for Shmi. And I don't know if you guys have heard any of that fan theory out there about surrounding Shmi and him. No?
No.
Man. All right. So next week we'll show that video. I'll find a video of it, because I'm looking right now. It's 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, true path, how Qui-Gon, whatever. Why didn't Qui-Gon free? Because Anakin's mother, that was his, whatever. That's why he couldn't free her. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. And that Qui-Gon was behind the whole Anakin thing, and Anakin really maybe wasn't the chosen one. Oh. No, you're not feeling that?
No. I'm not with your what do they call it? Shipping or whatever? What do you call it?
Shipping, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not rolling with that.
I want to
think
share something. Oh, go ahead.
Qui-Gon's just that guy, and Zane knows what I mean. He's just that guy. You know what I mean? So,
All right, you say so.
There's no other word for it.
So I shared this with us in the group. Oh wait, I should probably show on stream because I did this last week like an idiot. From Vader Trader, thank you. I didn't ask you for permission, but you're getting credit. Whatever. I love this. Where it, but who is this, and why don't I know who this is on the right? Am I just dumb? Who's on the
I mean,
right?
that's Star Killer.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, look at the helmet. It's Sith Star Killer.
Oh, I got you. I don't know how I feel about that then.
You should look at the comments in that picture.
Is it bad?
The first one?
Always two there are.
Okay. I didn't know if you guys had heard this, so I thought, wow, I need to ask y'all about this. So apparently, no, y'all have not. Well, I'm gonna do some digging unless someone wants a homework, and trust me, you're not gonna want the homework I'm gonna hand out later. So if you want to do this, go ahead, Zane. You got this? Cool. All right.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the fan theory with Star Killer and Ahsoka would have been they were in a lose-lose. I feel like even if they bring him in, because okay, if he's an Inquisitor, then Vader would have had to have taken a certain liking to a certain Inquisitor, which doesn't feel very Vader to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can't make him as powerful because he's just absolutely busted as a Force user. And so I'm kind of glad they haven't brought him in and all that. So hopefully, remains to be seen.
You're speaking on Inquisitors. I don't know who Devin's Shaggy's. What comics? What's up, dude? Welcome to the show. What's good? Oh, he's talking to this guy. Okay, never mind. I'm putting up conversation in the chat. On that note, I wanted to kind of move into Barriss and Morgan, and I want to start with Barriss. I don't know what I did in the outline, but I want to start with Barriss. There's a moment in the show I kind of want to talk about first, and we talked in pre-show about a couple of things, and I want to set those things aside, and y'all know what I'm talking about. We'll get to them. The moment where Vader is, announced as the new, this is your new master or whatever, right? As potential Inquisitors. Can she not? She wasn't severed from the Force. Can she not feel that is Anakin in that moment? And can he not feel with his connection that he had, or that his experience in life, where they had such a relationship? How does he not feel that? Like, that was something that bothered me. Was there anything? Did I just miss
for
something?
Her, I mean, Anakin's already dead. At least at this time, like Anakin was gone. It was Darth Vader. I don't foresee her ever knowing it was him, just because it was a whole different presence. On the other hand, I totally think he knew it was her.
Yeah. Was there something in there that gave it away? Like I kept looking for something and I couldn't find something.
I mean, if I can recall correctly, they didn't have that many interactions together in the actual show.
True. Barriss was always an interesting character to me. Her relationship with Ahsoka, obviously. Lumi. There's a lot of depth to her pre this. And now I want to kind of look at pre-show, where we were talking about, do you feel like we didn't get enough of her story in that it felt a little rushed? Cam, you started talking about that, and I made you be quiet in the pre-show because I think this is something we can talk about. Where, yeah, I think there was a lot more of story that could be told, or outside of the 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I it felt so quick. And I get like there's some ambiguity to the episodes, and you're kind of supposed to, they're tales, they're not episodes or whatever. So I can understand that. But with the route that they went down with that character compared to where we saw her last, it just felt very forced, and like you had to show the one person in Morgan that, you know, doesn't know that she's fighting for the wrong team. But we in the audience know that despite all her actions, she's fighting for the people that are the reason essentially for her family and people getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care. She's just like she tries to use the people to attack and whatever, and ends up getting people hurt and doesn't really care. And so I understand that. It's kind of like the Tales of the Jedi. You kind of have opposite ends of two Jedi. And it just, the Barriss thing felt so quick, and it just felt so like, how does a person that was trying to bomb the Jedi Temple and harm others all of a sudden feel bad about hunting down Jedi?
Yeah.
It just, maybe six Tales episodes would have been good. And I said it also in pre-show, those two had interactions with the Empire, but I wouldn't, when I think of Empire, I don't think of them. Maybe Morgan more than Barriss, due to her connection with the Thrawn aspect of stuff. But I don't have a problem with where they took Barriss, and I'm not trying to say that. I do think there's probably, she can be redeemed, but I think give us a little bit more to it. Not like she goes on a couple hunts and then sees people are scared of them, and then she's just, I want to save this random Jedi for some reason because he said he's tired of running or whatever he said.
What happened when she was locked up over that, however long that period of time was? Something had to have changed inside of her then in order for her to even have those mixed feelings straight away. You could see, like, she knew, like, oh, it's a dark set. Like, I don't know. I agree with you. Debbie, Barriss is someone that you really have mentioned a few times. I said really mentioned. You've mentioned a few times in our shows. You have a liking to her, I think. What did you feel about her story and where they took her? That's now canon.
I really didn't have a problem with the story. I think she was a bit delusional in her on how she thought about the Jedi. And then once she saw the other side of the fence, you know, you always think, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side. And she found out very quickly that it was not. And that, you know, the Empire was truly evil and not the Jedi.
From a certain
she
point of
may
view.
not have agreed with everything the Jedi did, but what she got herself into in being forced to be an Inquisitor, that's not what she signed up for.
So with your
go ahead.
history or feelings of her and her story, you're okay with her redemption arc?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seemed kind of short, but I'm sure, you know, it wasn't like she, you know, they went on 2 hunts and, you know, then all of a sudden, I'm sure there was other hunts that they went on, and, you know, over time, she just kind of slowly realized, you know, this is not good. We're not doing any good. We're killing people for no reason whatsoever. And I think, I wish it kind of would have done a little montage or something like that, just to show that over time, you know, it's not what she thought it was going to be. And the ending where she is, and I'm sure you guys noticed that she aged a lot more than the other Inquisitor, and that's because in Legends she was a healer.
Yep.
There's 3 books on that, and so every time she uses the Force to heal, like Rey and like Ben, she's given away her life force. And that's why she ate. A lot of people were really bitching about that on the internet. Like, why the hell she looks so old? And I'm like,
well, if you know your Star Wars.
yeah. So yeah, I thought that was totally in line with, how she was in Legends. I'm glad they brought that back. I'm not quite sure if she really died at the end.
Yeah.
That was my only thing. I was like, is she or was she or did she or what? What's going on?
And it's her healing. So sorry, Disney, y'all didn't think of that. The healing piece of her history that I knew in Legends as well. Like, I just didn't think she's dead. I just can't. I don't know. Like, I was like, oh, okay, go away, and then she'll scamper off somewhere. Crawl away and heal herself with her last. And then she's really super old. Like, who knows? But that's kind of where I felt with that, and so yeah, I'm totally on board. Zane, what do you? We've been leaving you out, man. Oh, go ahead, Debbie. You're about to say something else.
I just had one more thing. I did like it. It was just a little mention, but I truly believe that she did reconnect with Ahsoka because she mentions an old friend.
An old friend, yeah.
And I think that whole thing was part of the like in Kenobi where they had the path. They're smuggling the Jedi kids out. I think that all connects with Quinlan Voss, and I think eventually Asajj. Hopefully they give her a series of her own, or they do a series on the path.
Yeah.
And that might be what the Skeleton Crew is about. I don't know.
Did we get another trailer for that?
No, we haven't had anything on that.
Okay. That's the one with Jude Law, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zane, what are your thoughts, man?
I probably have the least wishy-washy thoughts about all this. It would be really nice to see it go longer, but I think overall it was just it felt like it could have totally just been a story from the Clone Wars. Yeah. Just through and through. Like, it felt good. It was a good ending. It wasn't anything crazy.
So when you guys saw, and this is to you, Zane, when you saw Qui-Gon and Dooku talking on Tales of the Jedi, was that something you were like, oh, this is fat? Like, did you get up for that? Like, was that something you were excited? So then what was it in this show that made you like, oh wait, I know what that probably is. But go ahead.
Where is he?
This guy.
No. This guy. Anytime I can get a Thrawn is good.
Fine, we'll move on to Thrawn and Morgan. I'm trying to stay on Barriss a little longer. She's one of my like tertiary characters that I always really liked. Like I said, her and Lumi were really special characters just for their story. What we did get of their story, and you're right. In Legends, we have that. Have a lot more. So I wanted to talk more about that, but that's fine, Zane. We'll move on. Morgan, and I know you have some thoughts too, Cam, but Morgan and Thrawn and that interchange with them, I'm sure you have a couple of thoughts, Zane.
Yeah, I honestly think it was good. It was good to see the connection the two had for being different, being aliens. I don't want to say having their species wiped out because that's not what happened with Thrawn, but that's
a great point.
Yeah, like from what the Empire knows, he was banished from the Chiss, and her entire people were banished from life. So, like, they were both alone, and I think, I really liked that they were able to bring that sense of aloneness together. If that makes sense. And it brought a lot of a lot of what was written in the books, in the first book specifically, about Thrawn's up and coming in the Empire. And you could it was good that you could see those lines blur really perfectly into Tales of the Empire. Like that was him from the book.
Yeah.
Which is all you can ask for. Morgan was pretty cool as well.
So, as the resident Thrawn guru expert, you were pleased with how they did him?
I always am.
Yeah, good. Cam, you got some thoughts about this whole? You started talking about Morgan working on the side she thought was right, but wasn't right. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good take on. We could see that, right? I'd love for you to elaborate on that because that's some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad because she just doesn't know, and they really give a sense of she'll do anything. She'll do whatever it takes to, in her mind, win or like get revenge for her people, you know. And I really liked her episodes. I think they were probably, I think her second one, whichever one where there's a lot of interactions in that village that she's in, those were probably some of my favorite episode that they had. And but the one that got me out of my seat was probably seeing Grievous. I was hoping, because I'm a big fan of the games, I was hoping to see kind of a young Marin, maybe in Crossing, or maybe Morgan had ties to getting Marin to safety or something. I would have liked to have seen that, but yeah, I think the Morgan episodes were the strongest. They felt a lot like the Dooku episodes, where I feel like they were putting a lot into. Like, I feel like each episode really, I was clicking instantly after each Morgan episode, because I was like, I want to see, like, where does she end off? Because I mean, we know it happens in Ahsoka. And not the biggest fan of that death, but yeah, it's funny being a viewer sometimes, and you're just like, how does she not want to look into who sent the attack on Dathomir and all that, and just figuring with her access to in the Empire, maybe trying to find out something about that or whatever, and realize that she's actually fighting on the wrong side. But I also think even if she found out, she wouldn't care, because all she cares about is getting revenge for her people.
Yeah, I think the feeling is satiated once somebody pays for it.
Yeah,
even if it's not the right people. Yeah, totally. Debbie? Oh, Morgan, I have a question for you specifically. So one of the things that I have seen in Star Wars, and I don't know if it's just recently or not, but there's this play on, that TIE Defender, it's never gonna work. It's too and is it because she's a she and a Night Sister, or is it because it's a dumb idea? Like, and those crusty people didn't think of it. When I see that stuff, I think about, here we go, Dr. Dana Martin in the business world, right? Is yeah, that crap happens, like, and certainly not with the same frequency as it did, in the Mad Men days, but it does happen. And it's not good, and it's not excusable. I wonder, from your perspective, was that something that you were like, oh, that, or was that something you didn't even notice?
I just thought, well, that's typical. Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah.
That happens.
And in the Star Wars universe, right? I mean, we have that with the Empire. How many women were in positions of power in the movies? We had the
Leia.
senators and queens and whatnot, right, in the first episodes and stuff. But in the original,
Mon Mothma. There were
man,
two. Yeah, just Leia and Mon Mothma.
I don't think anybody in the Empire was a
Mm.
female in a hierarchy position. I don't believe.
and non human.
Yeah.
Well, and if you remember back to the Andor series, you know, the majority of them are, you know, crusty old men. There's a few women, but if I remember correctly, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that series. But if I remember correctly, you know, they were just there.
Mhm.
And if they did have ideas, it was, yeah, we'll let you talk and then we'll ignore you type of
Yes,
thing.
we'll
Which,
placate you and move on.
yeah, you know, that's normal. See it every day.
I think it's interesting that the way that that is being portrayed is something I know. I mean, I'm being honest. I've seen that in the past. I haven't seen it recently in what I do, but certainly I think that art reflected at least that time, especially back then. And I know Lucas was intent on making a point about some of that. Right? He's talked about that. So when it comes to like Morgan and Thrawn's relationship, do you feel, Debbie, do you feel that they would, I don't know how to articulate this. Do you feel that one side, him or her, has a certain amount of power over the other, whether that's manipulation or influence? Does she have something over him, or does he have something over her?
Oh, they're using each other.
Uh, uh, yeah.
Most definitely, because that's how they both work.
Hmm.
That's how they function. You know,
You've
to
outlived your usefulness.
yeah, yeah. Thrawn is very famous for that. In the books, I mean, he does it on the sly, but you know, whatever he can do to move up that ladder and get into the position he wants to be. I mean, he even winning over Palpatine, who
Yeah.
hates aliens or foreigners or whatever you want to call them. Won him over. Of course, he is very charming.
Yes,
Yeah.
he walks with a certain gait that calls for respect. I love that voice. I'm gonna perfect it. It's so good, so calm and so strong and confident. I want to talk like that all the time.
I was glad. Well, I guess that wasn't Thrawn, but like for the Inquisitor, I was so happy to hear Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
I love
How
Jason
about that?
Isaacs. He plays such a good bad guy. And there's all my favorite movies that he's in. He's the bad guy.
Of course. Some people are just meant for those roles, and yeah.
He does it very well.
When they see Vader, I meant to ask because I just thought of this, but like, doesn't Barriss not have her helmet on
She does not.
when he walks in?
Nope.
When he walks in,
When he looks at her and she stands
she
up,
has her
doesn't
helmet
she?
on. She puts it on as soon as he, right after he walks past her, she puts her helmet on.
Okay.
But I'm sure he recognizes her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he recognizes a lot of people that are Inquisitors because they're all former Jedi. So
Yeah.
How strong
him
does
is probably-
Anakin have to be to hedge himself from these other Force users from detecting or identifying who he was? And I get it, like I know Anakin's dead, right? But no. There's still this, like, I mean, Obi-Wan, Luke's like, no, I feel it. Like I know it's there. So like how? Yeah.
I think just in comparison to the people that actually know who he is, can feel through the mask. Like I feel like his power is even with the limitations, just so otherworldly that I think the basic kind of good basic Jedi, I don't even if they've had an interaction with him, I think by the time he's Vader, kind of like what Zane said earlier, I don't think they're going to be able to comprehend, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That and be able to think, to get a past feeling, you know. I think his presence in the Force at that time is just different.
Mhm.
So
He seems like the one. So like when Force Unleashed, or he's like pulling down the ship, the thing. I'm like, oh, how dumb. But when you really break down like the amount of through passion I gain strength, right? So if you truly believe that code, and that the dark side of the Force can truly present itself in a way to power you, does that make sense that that can happen in not every occurrence, but in occurrences where you have someone that's freaking insane otherworldly, as you're saying?
yeah, I mean, I think that if I could be mistaken, people in chat may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think part of the reason he's able to survive in his suit and become more powerful is because he's using the dark side due to the how painful it is being in there. And I think when he turns back to the light in Jedi, I don't think Luke removing the helmet, because we've seen in other instances where he removes the helmet when he's not in Bacta and hooked up and things like that, or his helmet's cut off. But it's like, I think he partially dies because he's not using the dark side anymore, and he's not holding on to that. And so when he turns back to the light in Jedi, he partially dies because he can't.
Mm.
He's not using the dark side anymore, or at least that's what I've come to understand, I believe.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think part of his strength is because he's using his own mental and physical suffering that he is every day in that suit to become more powerful. I think George said he's like peak Vader's like 80% of peak Emperor, even
Man.
with all the limitations. And I think there was at one time where the Emperor could have I think he offers Vader a suit upgrade, but it would require him to get off the life support for a certain period of time, and it's not worth the risk for him to take that upgrade. I still think even with upgrades, the Emperor keeps that lightning handicap just to keep him in line. But maybe upgraded suit Vader is even more interesting. Because how maybe could he get to 85? 90%.
Doesn't Vader kind of make small upgrades himself?
I
In the
think
comics, at least?
I think so, but I don't. I think his tech is still worse than Grievous's,
Oh,
even with
definitely.
upgrades.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good point.
So.
Grievous. Okay, so this is my ignorance and my lack of following that piece. I don't know a lot about Grievous. Don't hammer me for this. I need to understand. I've seen the picture of him before, of what
Yeah.
he supposedly looks like, and then after, and read some of the story. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's not force sensitive, right? He's just been trained as a Jedi. But that just means you know how to sword fight. I mean, like, I never quite understood what that meant. That Dooku trained him in the Jedi arts, but he's not able to use any telekinesis or anything like that. So does
No,
anyone have any
I
insight
think
on
he
that
just
for me?
trained him in all the different lightsaber forms. That's
Okay,
what he meant.
I got you. I got you. Now,
Hey, Remo.
is he really the prototype?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. He can kick ass in all forms. And see, so that was Sidious that had a hand in Grievous, right? And so again, you don't want him too powerful. You gotta cripple him a little bit. You can't give him an edge. So his was, I have respiratory also, like I can't breathe. I have this weird bone armor covering my innards. But man, he was a formidable opponent. But I have a question, and I know it's not on our sheet. Okay, so this goes way back. Do you guys remember the Clone Wars animated series, like the shorts?
Yeah.
They had this bad guy called Deluge or
Are you talking about that bounty hunter?
maybe
Or like he like regrows or whatever.
Yes. What was his name? He's gonna look it up. That character was always that super evil dark side kind of dude, but he was a bounty hunter. What was his name? Do you guys remember this? No.
Dirge.
I know who you're talking about, but
Dirge.
Zane, look it up.
Dirge.
You can go for it, Zane.
He's in
We're
the
all
canon,
we're all a
right?
little older and slower. You're a little quicker.
Yeah. He's in canon apparently.
Is he the guy that's all wrapped up?
He's the one that looks like purple spaghetti.
Yeah, he's French.
Oui.
Dirge. I don't know why that jumped in my head. Dirge. Dirge. You guys share?
Kind of looks like him.
No. All right.
I'm just on the Wikipedia.
Dirge. The Dirge I always knew was like, the slow songs in church. Dirge. All right, here he is. Let's look at him. Yeah, this dude.
Le Dirge.
Le Dirge.
Douge.
Oh, he was in some comics too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. We're gonna have to talk about that guy at some point. It's pretty cool. Le Dirge.
Duel with Grievous.
We'll move on. I don't care. Nobody cares about Dirge.
Well, he had a fight with Grievous, apparently.
He did have a fight with Grievous. He also had a fight with Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next piece. So, Tales of the Jedi. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
12 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dooku
12 out of 10.
episodes.
Tales of the
10 out
Jedi.
of 10.
Debbie?
10 out of 10.
I enjoyed it, but I don't think any of these episodes topped the Dooku episodes in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah,
because those 3 episodes were awesome. I mean, you got how he turned, why why Yaddle never shows up ever again, because he squished her.
Dude.
So yeah, I think the Dooku episodes are still top.
Dude, him standing in front of that tree on Coruscant when Yaddle walks up and just his entire monologue there, like that is probably top 5 all time. I don't know, maybe top 5 might be a little bit stretched. Top 10, number 6 maybe. Star Wars scene for me. Just the music, the moment, everything that we know has gone on. Like that's why I say it Tales of the Jedi is 12 out of 10. I think the Ahsoka episodes are good. They're good, but those Dooku episodes carry. You could have gave us 6 of those. Yeah. Young Qui-Gon was.
That's exactly right.
If they gave us
Young Qui-Gon was voiced by Liam Neeson's son, for those of you listening.
I would like to see a Tales that focuses on Grievous, because I would like to see his backstory.
So maybe
I know
we
there's
have
comics in that, but
so we have Tales of the Jedi. We give a thumbs up to 12 of 10, etc. Right? 12. Tales of the Empire, which we just talked about. I mean, I'm going to give it like a 8.59. I thought it was okay. It was good.
Yeah.
It was more content that I can go along with, so it makes me happy. But what could we see next? Surely they're not just going to end it at that with the success that these two have had. What stories or what arena area of the Star Wars lore would they tackle next?
Tarkin and Thrawn. I'd
Mhm.
love to see.
Tarkin and Thrawn.
I'd
They
love
had
to see.
an amazing duality in the
I
series.
think.
Man.
I think. Tarkin, Thrawn, Tales of the Empire, people that are actually full Empire, no doubt. I think that would get people, if they're, because clearly they're setting up Thrawn as this next big bad villain for the Dave movie. I think that'd be great to see. And I think Tarkin too, just because he's such a good villain, and I don't think it'd do anything but enhance what we've already seen, given their track record with these.
By Tarkin doctrine for a while. Before there was Thrawn, there was Tarkin, and it was lived by fear of Force. And like just the fear of the Force, man. Like not even I'm gonna blow your shit up. I'm just gonna do this one time, and y'all gonna be so scared y'all gonna fall in line. Like I love that. I will never employ that ideology as a people leader, but certainly it's very wise. You rule by fear of Force and not Force. And I don't know if y'all read the memo, the Tarkin Doctrine memo, but you can Google that and find it. It's pretty sick. I know you have, Zane. He's like, yep, here it is right here. Really cool stuff. I think that's a great idea. What would you like to see, Debbie?
There's so many possibilities. I mean, you could definitely do more Tales of the Jedi. You could do Tales of the Sith, Tales of the X-Wing or Rogue Squadron. I mean, the list could go. Tales of the Bounty Hunters.
Tales of the Republic.
What do
Tales
you
of
want to see,
Jabba's
Debbie?
Palace. I mean,
what do you
What do
want
you
to
wanna
see?
oh, what do I want to see?
What do you want to see? And she froze. Oh, there she- No, we can't come back to you.
I don't know. Well, like I said before, I'd like to see, more on Grievous,
Yeah.
but I feel like it would have to be more than 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like Origins type stuff, or somewhere right in that area, or like they do with these others, or no? Maybe?
I mean, not a whole series, but I just feel like if they did his episodes, they would have to be longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm
like
sure
24.
There's probably comics on them, I'm sure. I just have never. I keep saying I'm going to read the comics, and yeah, here I am. And I haven't read them yet. But yeah, I mean, there's just all kinds of backstories. Where the hell did R2 come from?
Oh my God, yeah.
How'd he get to be the way he is? Snarky little shit.
Absolutely, Josiah. 100%. Just a flat out Tales of the Sith would be sick to see. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is gonna sound really shocking coming out of my mouth, but even if it's just a short, no, I'm watching that though. Facts. Give me a 25 episode season of Tales of Jar Jar, dude. I'm there 1,000%.
Screw it.
No.
Hey,
But
they got that Lego thing coming out this fall.
Oh, dude,
how did Jar Jar get banished? How did Jar Jar get banished?
Jar Jar. I mean, how freaking awesome is that going to be?
I don't care if that minifigure is $250. I am buying that sucker. I do not care.
Let me tell you.
But anyways,
something.
I would.
No, go ahead.
Dude. I'm not gonna lie, because I moved in this new office, and my new boss gave me this canvas picture, and he said, "I know you don't like these, but I think this is pretty sick to have in here." And it is a Force Awakens canvas of Kylo and the First Order stormtroopers, and it is hanging up, mostly because it's free. I didn't pay my own money for it, but I would like a Tales of the Sith for Kylo Ren.
Or
that'd be calling him a Sith. That'd be calling him a Sith.
I You know what? Might as well give the best sequel character some love, man. I mean, just give it to us. Post burning down Jake Skywalker's failed Jedi Academy. Just give it to us, man. Give it to me.
Or Tales of the Ren.
Let me see.
Tales, yeah.
Yeah,
Because we didn't
Tales
get
of the
jack
Ren.
shit out of that. We didn't get nothing. Pissed me off.
There's a
who to
lot
blame
of
for that.
to that, right? Because he had to kill his friends that were like brothers, right? So Anakin went through with the 501st and killed all the Jedi in the temple. But this is like Jedi against Jedi. This is like Jedi Civil War kind of crap, where in the Knights of Ren, they were Jedi, right? And they destroyed the temple.
Well, so did he kill them after Jake Skywalker tries to kill him in his sleep, or did he run away and then come back? I don't recall.
It's been so long since I
Because
read the book. Does the book even touch on that?
I don't know about the book.
Which
I didn't read,
one?
but I know in the film they do have they
Oh, no.
show him in the burning temple, and then they show the Knights of Ren grouped together in that order. Because it's like, why is the
Hold
temple
on.
burning? And then it's
Wikipedia
like,
is being used.
oh, that's why the temple's burning. Or not?
Well,
the
dude, because if he tries to get killed to sleep and he just goes like absolute like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and starts killing everybody, that's like even more depth to the character that I think should be explored.
According to Wikipedia, in 28 ABY, a confrontation initiated by Skywalker, resulting in Solo turning against the Jedi and falling to the dark side. Solo destroyed his master's training temple, killing his fellow students, then fled to join Snoke.
Oh, so he did all
Yo,
that.
that's it.
He killed, right, it says right here, he killed and replaced the leader of the Knights of Ren under a new persona.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay,
man,
so I got this.
that man got to get killed in his
Kylo Ren
sleep, bro.
watch For
That boy
real,
goes
yo.
crazy.
No
This
way.
is all according to Wikipedia, by the way.
Well, no. Wikipedia, man. That's where you start and follow.
Yeah, I pulled up the same article, but I think that'd be interesting to see. Tales of Ren. Great call, Debbie.
So if y'all are
Copyright
listening, Tales of Ren, thank you.
Well, there's a whole guy named Ren.
Make them pay, Debbie. Make them pay.
Ren. And that's why he became Kylo Ren. No, I'm making shit up.
No, actually.
That's how it happened. Oh, here we go. Oh, Scarif Scuttlebutt. That's right. Hook us up. Kylo was making Never mind. Oh, for Pete's sake. Kylo was making s'mores, and the stove burned the kitchen in the temple, and the friends were pissed off because they really wanted s'mores. Thus, they turned evil into the Knights of Ren. No, I do not believe that's. I mean, it's a great theory.
I can believe it. I'd love to believe it. Way better than the other alternative.
Ridiculous. Thank you. I jumped all over that like that was truth till I read the
Hey.
first 4 words.
Hey, are we doing HoloNet highlights or what?
Oh man, I didn't have anything for that. So you got something?
Yeah. Did y'all see the Galaxy's Edge thing that came out?
No. Hold on. We can't change subjects yet because Zane didn't give us his two.
Okay. Oh, I'll pull up the thing and I'll send it in chat.
Yeah.
My
Zane,
tail.
what's your tails?
I want to see something either. I don't know what you could call it. It could be Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Could be Tales of the Chiss. I don't know. I want to see Clone Wars animation of when Anakin and Thrawn met.
Yes.
It was hinted at. It was showed in the second Thrawn book, Thrawn Alliances, right? And then in the Chiss Ascendancy books, they actually have the full thing that happened. Like they recall all the way back to it, so you see the things that led Thrawn up to that point. I think that would be really cool to see. 3 episodes. That's perfect.
Yeah, because Thrawn knows who he is, and then Anakin's like, what the fuck? How's he know this shit? How does he know it's me? Yeah, I would love to see that. I'm jumping on that bandwagon right there.
Yeah. So once
hell
again, the Chiss. It's canon. Was it? Is it? Is that canon?
It's just Star Wars, man. I'm tired of the canon legends, man. It's just
I
Star
know.
Wars, bro.
Just enjoy.
Whatever.
I
Share my
tried.
here.
I tried to give every chance.
The old screen rant, huh?
I just read that. I tried to give every chance.
How far did you get in that article, Zane?
I read like the very first paragraph, and not even. I read the summary, the first or the second bullet point. Yeah.
Ray became a Skywalker to honor Luke, Leia, and Ben Solo for their
Yep.
training.
Nope, there it is.
There it is. It's right here. Oh, I'm not sharing on the screen.
And there
really
goes
sharing other people.
I think the YouTube video in there shows it.
Where is it? Oh, this one? No, I have that.
Yes, sir.
Was that it?
Yeah, the video plays what she says along with the thing underneath.
Wait, what is that? A yellow crystal? I don't have a yellow crystal. Carla.
When I met Luke Skywalker, I offered him his lightsaber, and he tossed it away. But the Force doesn't always make things easy. So you keep trying. That's all you can do.
No, try not.
I came from something evil.
Oh, sorry.
And sometimes I still want to run from that. But I've learned that there are things stronger than blood, and that the smallest light can push back the deepest darkness. I'm Rey. Rey Skywalker. Maybe you've heard, I'm all the Jedi. So, I've got that going for me. Luke Skywalker was my master. So was his sister, Leia. And her son, Ben, gave his life for me. I took the Skywalker name to honor them and their legacy. The Force is so much bigger than any creed, any philosophy. Anything that can fit in a bunch
Daisy
of books.
voicing that, or is that just someone giving a...
That
doesn't sound like Daisy.
No, that's
It sounds like she's 40. If it does.
Never be the same.
Alright, Dana, you can pause it.
And yet every night I dreamt of an island. A tiny dot in...
Yeah, thank you.
Get that out there, sorry.
Yeah.
I still think she should have been a solo.
I would agree.
No. Because then we would have had that whole sibling thing again. Right?
They're not. Wait, who? Solo? They're not siblings.
She's just taking the name. She's not.
They're not siblings. She's like his aunt. She's like his long distance aunt.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Technically, she's higher up on the tree.
So I've got like a whole satchel of things for mine. I don't have the Ray one. So any of you guys out in land, I need the Ray one. I don't have the Ray one. I've got a whole sack of crystals. I even have the black crystal, not the dark crystal. That's a whole nother thing. But I have the black crystal, which gives you like a whole special crazy thing. But yeah, that was awesome. Kyber crystals. Daisy Ridley, Ray Skywalker. Why is it that if Skywalker was such a common name, do you believe that's why there was such anonymity for Luke and Leia? Well, not Leia, but for Luke living with Owen and Beru.
Evidently. But their last names weren't Skywalker.
Lars. No.
It was Clegg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Clegg, Lars, Owen, and Beru, Lars. That's right. That's right.
So it's like, I mean, I'm sure everybody in town knew that he was adopted or whatever, but or a long distant relative.
Well, as far as Luke knows, and a lot of other people in the galaxy knew, I mean, Anakin died protecting the Palpatine from the Jedi, betraying them and all that stuff, and he was a best star pilot in the galaxy type deal and all. So it's like, I mean, that was, I guess, kind of why he wasn't pursued, and
Mhm.
I also think Owen and Baru knew the severity of protecting Luke as well. So
Do you think they blamed Obi-Wan in some form or fashion because he was the trainer or response? I mean, do you? Yeah,
You can
I
say
got
Well, a
that.
everyone.
I got
yeah,
that
in
in the Kenobi
Kenobi.
show.
yeah, that's right. Gosh, I forget about. I need to rewatch that. I only saw it
No, you
through
don't.
once.
No, you
No, I
should.
don't.
You
I
should.
gotta
No, you
say,
don't.
that's the Vader
George
I
Lucas
always
said it
knew
was
and
his
loved.
favorite.
Like the Vader that like chucked a child. Like that's Darth Vader. Like that's what like they didn't portray him that way on screen until then, but he was like that in the comics, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he straight up was. So
was
that's
ruthless.
what makes that reconciliation and redemption so much greater. Was that he was to your point, Cam, I think, how is it that Palpatine could ever be redeemed? Um, well, Luke, I mean, we see right there that someone as ruthless as Vader could too. However,
Well, he
what
was
was
at his core person. He was a good person that wanted to do good, and I think Shmi establishes that in Phantom Menace
mm,
with how she talks about him to in front of him and to others about him, and that's why it. And the one thing I like in Kenobi, shockingly, is even though it does jumping jacks on the lore, is when Kenobi talks to Leia about her parents, her actual parents, and both of them got the best qualities of their respective parents,
mhm.
and I think the fall of Vader and the redemption of Vader due to Luke, because I was telling Woods about this too. In Revenge of the Sith and Jedi, they're both presented with the same opportunity
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things with Palpatine.
yeah.
One goes left, the other goes right. And that's what makes that so fascinating, because if Anakin hadn't have been blinded by the dark side and the lust for, because he's wanting to do a good thing, but he just accepts I just have to do this because I can't. He knows something that I can do to save my wife
Mhm.
from these visions I'm having,
Right.
and because he's at his core, he's a good person. I think George said at one time he just made a deal with the devil and he lost everything, and the devil was all he had left.
Mm.
I mean, that's why
So do you
he.
think maybe it's a motivation factor? So the motivation behind Sheev is rule the galaxy, blah blah blah, but it's more of a because I want to, as opposed to perhaps a motivation of Anakin or Darth Vader saying, "Well, I need to find a cure for this death of my lover, and that's
Yeah,
my motivation." So it really does. It's rooted in the motivation. Is it
yeah.
love as your motivator or is it power as your motivator? And that's a great point from Dr. Dana Martin. Thank you, Cameron. Because that's exactly right. What's your motivation when you're taking those steps and you're doing those things, or you're garnishing your passions and turning them into power? Is it because you want to control people and be a total DB? No. I I'm looking for this good thing, and unfortunately sometimes it kind of takes this working to get to this ultimate good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wanted to try to find this where I need someone to look that up because I can't seem to find it. It's where, or did you find it? What is this? This is stupid. What? What's stupid?
He's responding to the article
Yeah.
that
Oh
we
yeah,
just went
that was
over.
pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm trying to find that conversation because it was in Phantom Menace.
For what?
And I brought it up last week, but I didn't get y'all's thoughts, Debbie and Cam. So we're gonna kind of circle back to Phantom Menace, and then we'll come back to close out
Hell yeah.
the Barriss.
Hell yeah.
Dude, the Phantom Menace thing was huge for me. when I saw it, it was obviously pre my son, and I don't even think my daughter was a few months old. So I mean, it's been a while, but certainly there were things that I've seen that movie. I can't even tell you how many times. But sitting in the theater, being captive, right? Because you don't have your phone out or your little tablet or whatever. I'm captive, and I'm watching this thing, and I get to the part where Yoda tells Obi-Wan the council has agreed to let you train him, but I disagree. Whoa, time out. Hold the bus. I never heard that. All the crap I've been talking about Yoda over the last year. Yeah, we're rapidly approaching a year on the Sith Dominion. All that time, I never ever heard that piece until sitting in the theater. And now I feel like I'm vindicated. Like I'm like, yes, he had his own thought and his own opinion, which potentially shaded or clouded his decision making when it came to Anakin. Okay, go. I gotta know y'all's thoughts on that. I disagree. Like, what? I don't know. Y'all cool with that?
Hold on, sorry, I think
Debbie. You go, Debbie. I'm looking up something.
Well, I mean, it's just typical of the council. Because my train of thought is, regardless of his age, why wouldn't you want to train him? Do you want him to go off and try to learn the Force by himself? And I mean, yeah, eventually he does turn evil, but
why not give him a shot? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I just don't understand their train of thought with that, because I'm sure there were probably other kids who were too old that they didn't take back to the temple to train. And it's just like, well, you know what? I kind of wonder how many of them turned well, maybe not evil, but they used the Force in bad ways, to steal or to do Jedi mind tricks to get a promotion or whatever.
Sending food on a fork across to your lover to have them eat. Yes. Misusing them. Obi-Wan would be pissed off if I was doing that. Yeah, of course he would, because you're an idiot. No. You're trying to impress her.
I just never understood that mentality of the council.
Yeah.
Especially Mace Windu.
Yeah. I think it just goes back to they're just so dang full of themselves they can't even see past the end of their process and policies. It's ridiculous. Here is the scene, and I'll just shout out Ewan McGregor if you're watching. We'd love to have you on the show. You are amazing in this movie. I remember seeing you in so many things before. I enjoyed you as an actor. However, you're Obi-Wan. And thank you for everything you've done. Okay, real quick. She shouldn't have been a Skywalker and all the Jedi at the same time. I don't know.
Skip past this comment, man. We got to be positive tonight. We'll save it for Sith Dominion After Dark.
Oh. All right. Let's jump over to this clip we've been talking about with everybody's favorite failed Jedi. Thank you, Zane. What? What'd you say?
What did I say?
I don't know. What'd you say?
You said he's the reason you got that clip, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Zane. All right.
Confer on you the level of Jedi Knight. The Council does. But agree with your taking this boy as your Padawan learner. I do not.
What?
That boy's an asshole.
I'm sorry, man. So now you, as a leader, okay, Dana's about to go off on freaking Listen to me. You just told Obi-Wan, F you and me, Yoda, who you have looked up to since you were a child, am telling you your mission right now of taking this Padawan is going to be a failure. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Obi-Wan. Are you kidding me? Sorry. That pisses me off. What is wrong with you?
Qui-Gon believed in him.
The chosen one the boy may be. Nevertheless, grave danger I fear in his training.
Master Yoda, I gave Qui-Gon my word. I will train Anakin. Without the approval of the Council if I must.
Qui-Gon's defiance I sense in you. Need that you do not. Agree with you the Council does. Your apprentice, Skywalker, will be.
Man, look. I don't know. I'll shut up. This is I got when I saw that again, that was the first time I'd ever noticed it. It was a couple weekends ago. And I got so pissed off sitting in the theater. Like, dude, you're totally setting Anakin up for failure. Everything you're doing, Yoda, is saying, I don't believe in him. That's what you're doing. Whatever.
Well, they set him up in other ways. I mean, how did other Padawans find out that he was the chosen one? I mean, they made fun of him the whole time, because he was supposed to be the chosen. How the hell did that get out?
Yeah, like he'd skip around and say, I'm the chosen one and get his butt whooped. Like, no, that would never happen.
Somebody on the council had loose lips.
I bet it was Kialimundi. That dude.
No, it was
That
definitely
asshole.
it was definitely Mace Windu for sure.
Probably both of them, because they're both assholes.
Every time I see Mace Windu, I get pissed off. I love you, Samuel L. Jackson, but I get pissed off every time he's on my screen, man.
Mace Windu should have never been on the council. He should have been a Dark Lord of the
he was
Sith.
so cool.
He knows it.
Hell yeah, he wanted to be.
He knows
Hey,
it.
can you pull up that thing I sent in chat?
Oh, my bad. Let me see.
In the Facebook chat.
Comic?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
This goes off of my Phantom Menace comments.
For those of you playing along at home, Cameron will. Maybe Cameron will. Is this it? Yeah. Cameron's going to tell you what's on the old screen here.
The old screener.
Oh, you can't zoom in. So you'll have to explain it. I can't get it bigger.
Oh, so basically, this is a comic that kind of shows that Qui-Gon did kind of have a little training in Phantom Menace for Anakin. And this scene is post when they all three go visit the council first. And Anakin basically is asking Qui-Gon if he's dangerous, kind of like Yoda and them insinuate. And Qui-Gon essentially says, no, everything that you're feeling is what any young kid would be feeling in this situation. But a person with your potential, your abilities needs to have, higher standards, saying he needs training, and Qui-Gon is going to ensure he gets the training, which we get. Yeah, the proper training, regardless of if the council allows him to do it or if he leaves the council and goes and trains Anakin, which I think a lot of people think he would do. And it kind of plays off the clip we just showed and what Debbie said with the Jedi just not setting him up for success, because even if, even Obi-Wan, gave his promised Qui-Gon he would do it, it wasn't exactly like he was super thrilled about doing it. It was more of like, I promised, I have a debt that I must pay, essentially, to my dying master. It wasn't like, because even in that clip, he's like, I'll do it with or without the council's permission. I'm like, really? Are you going to Like how serious is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily agree with his take on that.
There's a couple of things that I want to extrapolate from that, and the first is let's jump back a little. He's too old, right? Is what Yoda says to about Anakin and what he says about Luke. Now, if Luke is too old, 30 years or 20 years old or 18, whatever he was, uh, is it how it just in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, of course he's too old. He's in his 20s. His 8-year-old kid's too old? Like, how was it that it's okay for the Jedi to acquire children to train them in the Jedi arts, but it's not okay to conscript children to grow them into First Order or stormtroopers? Why is that any different?
It's not, and I think everybody would agree that it's wrong on both ends. You know, and I think that's what in the Legends Luke, I think him allowing any Jedi, any person that wants to be a Jedi that has the ability to use the Force, whether you're 80 or 8, are encouraged to join the Academy. I looked it up because I'd asked Woods, I was like, what is the cutoff? Because I don't know if it's ever been like super established. I think what I could read up, it was like 3 or 4. I think it's kind of like that meme. It's like me all of a sudden at like 6 years old, like gaining consciousness type deal. I guess the Jedi thought children up to that point weren't able to form like super close attachments with their parents or families or friends. So I guess ages 3 to 4 was the cutoff for the prequel era Jedi, I think. So, but I think it's wrong either way. I mean, obviously the Jedi think it's right, and the prequel era Jedi thought they were right with everything, but they're both inherently wrong. They're taking the option of free will out of the equation. You know, they're on both ends. You're not giving people the opportunity to choose their destiny or choose what they want to do. You're stripping that from them, whether it's for a good cause or a bad cause, like we kind of talked about earlier.
Do you guys in the expanded universe, the Quran Horn? Do you remember that guy? He was in Rogue Squadron. He was one of the pilots in Rogue Squadron. Luke took him under his wing and trained him as a Jedi. He ended up dying and whatever. It was an incredible story. And there's someone that is a 30-year-old guy or 30-year-old guy that is a veteran of many battles, war, where you have these aggressions and these things that are anti-Jedi, but then there's Jedi generals and pilots, and we're not worried. It just seems that there's just too much, and we always come back to this, unfortunately, that there's just too much contradiction in what the Jedi are trying to teach. But I can agree and I understand what they're trying to do. But this is why the Sith, to me, make a hell of a lot more sense, because what you see, one, is what you get, right? And two, it's just using those things to make you a better individual, better version of yourself, or a bigger version of yourself. I'm not saying that Sith are all redeemable, and I don't want you to go out and hurt people, but at least taking power and control of yourself and what things you can have control over, 100%. And I had to look that up. Quran Horn. There's a chunk of story on that individual in the expanded universe, and you should check it out if you haven't. Zane, one last question for you. Looking at the whole scope of what we've talked about, from Barriss to Morgan, and knowing what you know of Thrawn and Morgan's relationship, and from Ahsoka, what do you see forming from a Thrawn perspective in the next season of Ahsoka that we have heard is coming up?
I think what Thrawn, the whole thing Thrawn's going to be doing right here is building back his army. You know, he comes back and the Imperials, what's left, they're all splintered, fractioned, right? You had
The
Gideon.
remnant, yeah.
You had Gideon who tried to take control again, but if I'm not mistaken, isn't he missing still?
Gideon is. I thought he was still missing because after
'Cause
Mando,
he got- yeah. So we know that Gideon is still going to try to counter Thrawn. So I think Thrawn, honestly, the biggest thing we're going to expect is just him trying to gather what's left.
I thought Gideon's dead.
In Ahsoka, I think at the beginning of Ahsoka, they find his escape pod or whatever ship that was transporting him empty.
Yeah, he's potentially still alive. It's empty.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
That escape pod. I thought so too. So I could be wrong. Is Josiah on?
Unless he died at the end of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I thought Ahsoka takes place after Mando season 3.
It should have. I thought he got captured, and then
No, I thought he blows up or something.
does he
Hold
blow
on.
up on Mandalore?
Well, my theory was that wasn't him. That was one of his clones.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Still doing this?
Now that cloning's a thing? I mean,
Clones, multiverse. What's next? Right? Is this somehow?
yeah, he did blow up. Okay, he did blow up.
I thought that he
Okay.
was. Yeah, I thought.
I think I'm getting the difference because there's like two different series that mention him, and
Okay, now I'm like,
Yeah.
are we getting to the point where like continuity? We're having a struggle to make sure we're all on the same page.
I think it's just the fact that he came back the first time.
I think I
got that
think the
confused.
thing in Ahsoka where Balin and Shin go and free Elsbeth, right? I think that was like, I don't think the Empire knew what Moff was doing on Mandalore. The cloning and I don't know, but I think maybe that part's canonically going on at the same time pre that, and then as the show progresses, he is dead, I believe.
Yeah, he
So I
says he could die on Mandalore, which means it would have been season 3.
And I think all the clones went along with it too. But
still,
no,
I mean,
we didn't see a body.
Thrawn
didn't see a body, and as long as we don't see a body, we know somehow they can return.
So as far as we know, though, Thrawn's just building his army. I don't think he has fully had contact with everyone.
No.
They know he's out
What
there.
do you think's going to happen there with Thrawn and his crew? Kind of along the lines of Zane, or you got any other thoughts?
Me or Debbie?
Yeah,
Oh,
Debbie.
you're talking to Debbie. Oh, okay,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Sorry, I zoned out. Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Zane said. I mean, he's gonna try and get the old gang back together again, build his army, try to, pick up where he left off before he got carried off by whales.
The Purgle.
The Purgle.
Zane,
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Shoot.
What were your thoughts on Thrawn and Ezra? Because I thought Marok was, or I figured with Thrawn's way of using people, I figured there's just no way they're on this planet for what, 10 years, something like that, 15, and they have, like, Thrawn knows he's out there and he's not doing something in any way to, I know they kind of tease that they've had interactions and they've tried to find him and whatever. I mean, don't you think Thrawn has the capability to influence Ezra and maybe form some type of alliance with him? Because they both, I think, would want to have the same goal of doing whatever it takes to get off this planet.
I think not. I think Ezra's the reason they're there. He knew what he was doing. I think
Ezra accepted his fate.
He's too headstrong. Like, he will do what he can to keep him there. Now, I think Thrawn on the path to finding Ezra, as we saw, Ezra did nothing. I mean, truly, all he did was gain his own influence in the Force, but he was still stuck there. All he did was join a tribe. Like, I think Thrawn has been keeping tabs on him. We know they knew where his general location was. He saw him not as a threat, and he obviously knew he couldn't work with him because of how Ezra was. I know Thrawn's not like a Sith. He's not going to be able. He doesn't have the influence of Palpatine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I think around it.
When it comes to Thrawn, though, do you like it's hard? I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say his, like Palpatine, his overconfidence became a weakness. Because everything is so strategic with Thrawn, and as you stated, without the Force, right? So he's just that damn strategic and smart and problem solver and critical thinker, all the things. And so, how is it that you see this? This is why I asked that question. How you see it playing out with the return? Where are they gonna go with this? I don't even know. I appreciate that they're bringing Thrawn, but what are we doing now? I mean, putting together an army, and then what?
Army of Night Sisters.
That's what I think is in those coffins, man.
Where
and
are
that would
they?
be
Yeah.
sick.
Oh,
That's gonna
Yeah.
be sick.
He's gonna resurrect them all, put them in the Green River. I mean, why else would you bring coffins?
so I thought the coffins. We talked about this, and I was under the assumption that potentially it was just dead soldiers. They would use some sort of dark Night Sister magic to resurrect them, and now you have a army of the dead, essentially. But if those are actually like Night Sister or people from Dathomir, holy crap! Okay, you got me sold on this next. How do you fight that? And we saw with Morgan and some of the dark side, some of the dark magic arts that they're the dark arts, Harry Potter. Some of
Harry
those things.
Potter.
Harry Potter.
Potter?
Oh, I know, right? Sorry, everyone's got to do it at once, right? Harry Potter. No. so in the end, what do we have? Are we just gonna? I don't know, man. I have this bad feeling we're just gonna rehash another Star Wars episode of Star Wars, and that's where I'm kind of going with this. I'm afraid that we're gonna end up with another super weapon, some BS. I'm not thrilled about this. And I was at first because I'm a huge Night Sister. We had a whole series or a whole couple shows dedicated to a couple of Night Sisters and them as a whole. So I dig them. I just think if you're doing this, a little bit of a stretch. Jumping the shark, maybe.
Well, I mean, if they do it right, which is if. But, I mean, I don't think they're going the super weapon route. I think the resurrected Night Sisters are the super weapon. And I think that can make it interesting. And we're probably going to get a really interesting scene with Hera in the New Republic when Thrawn's coming back, raising hell across the galaxy. And she's like, I told you something... something was coming, and she's probably gonna, Ezra might try and chime in, and I think I think we all agree the New Republic's very arrogant and probably not much better than prequel era Republic, and so they're gonna underestimate the power and influence and just the overall coming of Thrawn and what he's bringing, and I think it'll be interesting to see how everybody takes that. But my guy will probably just be hiding out on Osu's drinking blue milk with his little younglings, and they're not going to show him, and that's going to really make me sad. Isn't that the planet they're on? Osus, whatever it's called.
No,
I don't recall.
is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. They probably don't have those aliens on that planet. He's probably drinking green milk or whatever it is.
I mean, he had to test it out first to make sure it wasn't toxic. So how's that go?
But I mean, I don't think they're going the super weapon route. I think that was probably outside of all the other stuff. One of the biggest gripes with I think Force Awakens was it's another big weapon and like people would see that that's been defeated before. So what can we do to be better than what came and failed before us? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I think Thrawn, ideally, as we all know, would be smart enough to encapsulate a plan that's going to be better than what the Emperor and them did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it kind of sucks because we know what ultimately where things end up, with First Order and, whatever else. So it really does, I think, confine them to a specific, a very narrow scope of what they can do. Because you've already established this with Palpatine in the future.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was going to say in the First Order, ambiguous how it came, but then now he says he's done I don't know. It's maybe it'll happen in World Between Worlds. I don't know.
In the Multiverse of Madness? I mean, the World Between Worlds? Sorry. Debbie, I have one last question for you. Of all the bits of back and forth that you've seen between Yoda and the Council, or Yoda and Anakin, or I'm going back to this with you because I think you have a perspective that I haven't quite understood yet. Mace, you have this inherent I want to choke him out. I don't know where all of that's rooted, and I really want to know what it is. Is it their arrogance? Is it their what is it about those characters that just set you off a little, or Lottle?
Mace specifically?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, he's like I said earlier. It's just. I mean, they're all a little arrogant, but he's the most arrogant. I mean, he's the number 2 guy under Yoda. But yet, to me, he acts like he's holier than thou. He knows everything, and I mean, he just puts down Anakin every chance he can get. I mean, it's just backhanded compliment, or I don't know. He just comes off real shitty.
Yeah. Anakin, would you think Anakin is a pleaser? Like he's that personality that wants people to like him, everyone to be happy around him. Do you think he's that guy?
I think he can be. I mean, but I think because Anakin is arrogant. And I think that gets in the way a lot of times. He does want to please people. He wants to please Obi-Wan. He wants to please the Council. But yet every corner intersection, he gets blindsided by one of them, that they don't trust him. Or, I mean, you can tell. They don't even have to say anything. He can tell.
Yeah.
That, they doubt him. They don't think he can do it. They may or may not think he's the chosen one. They're just kind of letting it go along because Obi-Wan was so adamant about it, because Qui-Gon was so adamant about it. But yet, they make him feel like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't his choice.
Was he? I mean, we've talked about it. It was a little unfair for him, but do you think that Maybe Mace was jealous or envious of the level of power that he had at that age that he maybe never could attain.
Possibly.
Was he that arrogant? Maybe. Yeah. I
Well,
think I'm with you.
yes.
There's
I'm like, maybe
there's
you're
some-
like, hell yeah, this guy.
Anakin's when in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, when Obi-Wan asked him to spy on the Palpatine, I don't
Who
know if
does
it.
that?
I don't know if it's Anakin's inner voice. I'm struggling to recall, but Anakin either states to Obi-Wan that Mace is jealous of Anakin being the youngest Jedi to do X or whatever, because Mace previously was the best youngest Jedi at the time or whatever. I can't remember if he I can't remember if he says it to Obi-Wan or if it's the dragon in his heart, which is how the book describes Anakin's fall in a way. But yeah, people do know that Mace is an arrogant asshole.
That's what happens, right? We see it in our own, CEOs and whatever. Like they just get so jaded, like or full of themselves. They can't complacent. I mean, there's all sorts of words and different ways to describe what they may or may not feel. And I think it goes back to the absolute power corrupts absolutely. When you get into a position where you no longer can manage the power that you have, that's when it becomes dangerous. It's not dangerous to have a passion and use that passion as fuel for your fire, right? And to go after and get what you want and what you feel you're deserved. But within the confines of and constraints of a specific framework that's one, legal, and two, not going to tear others down to do it, right? That's where I think you guys are absolutely right that Yoda was always backhanded. Oh, that's great. However, Mace didn't even afford the first part of it. It was just like, well, I'll tell you what, Anakin, you may get our trust if this thing is right. Now, how many things did he bring to the council, Anakin, that we saw through Clone Wars, right?
Mhm.
Where and he was right. I mean, all these times, and now Mace is like, well, maybe if you're right, give me a break, dude. Like you are part of the problem. And
Well-
that's what go ahead.
And here's the flip side. And I kind of feel this probably had something to do with it because Sidious is working behind the scenes. Of course, he's planting thoughts into Anakin, the council, they don't trust you.
Anakin.
And he's probably doing things to council members because they don't even know he's a Sith Lord, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
So, he's having meetings with them all the time. So who's to say that he's not subtly, suggesting things or what have you?
Yeah.
The way, the way Sidious is. That's just the way he is, Palpatine.
Have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, I haven't. did I send that to you guys? Are you telling me that this one blah blah blah? I think I sent that to y'all. I gotta find that. That one was a good one. Oh yeah, here it is. Anakin. Yeah. It's episode 3, but Anakin's smart. Hold on.
You mean that questionable story crafted?
You mean that? Yes. Okay, hold up. We got this. Hold up. Are we good? Oh my gosh, we got all kinds of crap up here. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait. Can y'all not hear this? Oh, hold on. Oh my god.
Jedi into embracing the dark side.
This.
So, did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis?
You mean that questionable story crafted to seduce Jedi into embracing the dark side?
What? No. I'm just making small talk.
No, I don't think so. You asked to see me, Chancellor?
Yes, I can tell you're worried about losing Padme.
Mm-hmm.
Only through the dark side can you save her from certain death.
Could you supply some scientific studies that support your claim?
I don't have them on me right now.
Could you please cite the sources from which you derived this information?
Oh, come on, Anakin. Just trust me, bro.
Nah, your deceit is transparent to me now. I recognize the elaborate scheme you've constructed, positioning yourself.
Hold on a second. Like the fact that whoever did this is doing it in the styling writing of Lucas and his dialogue is just beautiful.
And then he breaks it to the nah.
Yeah. Nah.
To ascend to the zenith of power. By orchestrating conflict between the Republic and the Separatists, you exploit this engineered dichotomy. It serves not merely as a strategy for dominion, but as a sophisticated mechanism to transform the very foundations of democracy into an autocratic empire.
Shit.
I need to tell the council about this.
We're running low on spice and death sticks. How about we grab some stuff from the underworld?
That's a very interesting point, Master Forehead.
Okay, hold up. Because I know how much, Debbie, you love Master Forehead. I mean,
grab some stuff from the underworld.
That's a very interesting point, Master Forehead. What are your thoughts on that, Master Yogurt?
That alien girl on my left. I'd smash.
Greetings. I've discovered the unsettling truth that the Chancellor is a Sith Lord.
What? Dude, that's wild.
You must eliminate him at once. I will stay behind, as it is likely he will manipulate me in an attempt to thwart your efforts.
All right.
All right.
Master
Still gets
Windshield.
massacred.
Time to take out the trash, Chancellor.
Oh, you can't defeat me, fool. I'm too powerful. Wait, I can't fly.
This is your end, Chancellor. Any last words?
Where the heck is Anakin?
He's not coming.
Well, that sucks.
Now, Chancellor Paperplane, you will die.
Ah! Thanks to Anakin, the genius here found and eliminated the secret Sith Lord we have.
Good job, Anakin. Now, we do grant you the rank of Master.
This is wonderful! It's fair!
Done well, Anakin.
Good job, Anakin.
You're so smart, Anakin.
Man, this is the best day of my life. What? It was all just a freaking dream?
Yes, you dummy.
Well, intelligence gone. Carry on.
This is polyamorous.
Yes, 100%.
As far as
I don't
what
even know
happens
what this
behind
is.
closed doors,
but
it stays
no,
behind closed
stop.
doors.
Exactly.
I don't want. Tell it for please, no. Thank you.
I'm in the wrong spot.
You are in the wrong spot. You're still in the wrong
Oh.
spot.
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know why that is so funny to me, but I just you're so smart, Anakin. It's just that's all he wanted, though. I mean, honestly, I know that's funny and all, but isn't that what? I mean, just some small amount of appreciation, and not just from Obi-Wan. I know he longed for that. He had no father. Watto was kind of a father figure ish, right? Yeah, man. Whew, it's been a good show. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up though. Next week, we are going to maybe do things a little bit different, and I'll talk to the crew here and see their thoughts. We're going to still come on at the same time, but I think we might do a shorter version of the show and then do a more interactive piece. We're going to talk that through offline with you guys and see how we can work that out. Because we do have some participation from the likes of the Scarif and Scuttlebutt show and Josiah, etc. And we want to try to include you all maybe in a different way. So thank you all for all of your thoughts tonight. I loved being able to break down the Tales of the Empire. We didn't get to do that last week with DJ Elliott on. Thank you again, DJ Elliott, for being here last week. we potentially are going to have a couple more guests. He stated that there might be some more folks that might want to join our show, and absolutely, we'd love to have more guests. So if you're watching or listening out there, make sure you like and subscribe, because the more people that like and subscribe, the more people we get to outside of you people that do like and subscribe. And if you hit the little bell on YouTube, you're going to know every time that we do go live. If you're on TikTok, go check us out at The Sith Dominion. On YouTube, on TikTok. I broadcast every show live, but I also do a couple of videos throughout that as well, working more towards all of the Dr. Dana Martin stuff. So, with that being said, any parting shots, anything you guys got going on, any gigs, Zane, any Debbie, any character meets? Is there a cat in front? Is Chewie in front of you right now?
Yes, she is, little bitch. But
you got anything coming up this week, Debbie?
Well, I mean, Wednesday, I believe there's probably an episode of War of the Stars dropping tomorrow.
War of the Stars, yes.
Thursday, since we really don't have a Star Wars show to talk about for a couple weeks, I think it's 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, we are going, because we kind of did this on MC. I don't know. We just kind of went down the rabbit hole on Monday, and we started talking about what actors today could play Wolverine. Because Wolverine is like, what, 5'5", 5'4", or something. So, we started talking about, short-statured actors that could play Wolverine. And there's not very many.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we are going to talk about A New Hope with characters from modern day New Hope, characters from today.
Like a recast.
So yeah, we each have to come up with the list. I did just for shits and grins, I did a chat GPT or whatever the hell it's called, OpenAI, and just asked it, what actors today would be cast as modern day Star Wars New Hope? Man, I didn't like the choices. Maybe one or two. But yeah, I was just like, okay, obviously you don't know Star Wars because this sucks.
We need to give Deb some prompt writing lessons to make sure she can get what she needs from the old AI. No, you're absolutely right, man. Because it's like 2 years behind, and yeah. No, I'm with you.
And then
but that would be
on
Cantina
Saturday.
Happy Hour on Thursday.
Cantina Happy Hour.
And we had
on
Garrett
Thursday.
on the
And then
show
Monday,
from War of the Stars, and that is tomorrow, right? And then what's Friday?
as far as I know.
Nothing's Friday.
Oh no, not Garrett. Mark. We've had Mark on the show.
I thought Garrett was on the show last week. Yeah, he
On
joined the
this show?
DJ show. Yeah, he joined with DJ Elliot. For a
Oh, I
little
thought
while.
you were talking about Cantina.
I'm sorry. Garrett from War of the Stars.
We are past my bedtime.
I know. I'm trying to hurry and wrap this up. I'm trying, Debbie. I promise you, I saw that and I'm working
My
on it.
brain is like a fog rain.
Almost done. The Cantina is. Are we still doing Geek Gauntlet on Saturdays? Yes.
As far as I know, yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you all for the technical difficulty working through last week before. Any of you all that catch our Geek News Now shows, we have been having a little bit of an issue. Today, it looks like things went as planned, so thank goodness. This is awesome. Josiah, Scarif Scuttlebutt. I can't remember who that is, Scarif Scuttlebutt.
Bro.
And who else? Devins, and is Shaggy. Is that someone you guys know? Do you know him, Cam? No.
I think he started. I don't know if it was on MCU Monday or Cantina that he kind of popped into our live, and then he told us that he followed us. So
nice, and yeah. Hit those likes and follows because it really does help. I did notice that Geek News Now is over 32K on Facebook followers, so that's fantastic. Our YouTube channel, we recently restructured, actually about a year or a little less than a year ago, about 9 months ago. So we're still trying to build that. So that's why it's important. If you guys are on YouTube, go check us out there. Next week, we're going to have a new 3-part series. Go to TikTok and check out the Sith Dominion podcast, and you can vote there. Well, it's too late because we already voted, and we already had the first part, which was the last 3 episodes, not this episode, the last 3 episodes, where we talked about the Sith timeline. We'll be moving forward now, looking at non-Sith dark side groups of folks, and we're going to talk about that in the next couple weeks. Outside of that, we'll try to get a couple more guests and have some more fun. And like I said, we are going to try to put our heads together and figure out a way to get you all more engaged and involved. Anything else, you guys? Zane, you have any gigs?
I have a gig at the Oak Hill Social in Oak Hill, Texas this Friday. 7 to 9.
Nice. Good job. And Cam, you got anything coming up? Anything fun? More Legos?
Going to concert for Josiah's band on Saturday, but other than that, I don't
Hold
got
on a second. Hold
nothing.
on a second. One of 5 fans, Josiah. Josiah has a band?
Yeah, it's called Colossae.
Here locally where we are?
No, it's more like I think Austin, I think possibly. Let me see.
We'll have to friends of the shows get promotion too, Josiah.
I can't type in the all chat, but I'll send it just to us.
No worries. We'll take care of that.
That's the band's Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Awesome.
all I got.
Cool. I don't have anything, so we will wrap this up. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for being a part of our show, and thank you all for just loving Star Wars. There's nothing quite like it. I hope to get on a Star Trek show very, very soon, and you guys will get to hear some of my Trekkie knowledge. Y'all don't even know. Last thing, remember, for real, always, that peace is a lie, and that there is only passion. Good night, folks.